Let's fire up Ballpark Cam and head out to Houston, where we find Richard Justice, our MLB Network insider. And Richard, tell us a little bit more about Michael Wacha. Man, he was so good in the postseason just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the Cardinals spent a lot of time over the winter researching stress fractures and stress reaction to the right shoulder. And basically what they found out was what Michael Wacha had was the precursor to a stress fracture in his right shoulder, and you don't want that. It's not a common injury for a pitcher, and what they're going to do this spring, they're going to monitor his workload very carefully. As you can see, the big boys were there watching his bullpen session yesterday. He's going to throw another one on Friday. And they've given him exercises. They've told him a certain amount of weights to lift and not lift. And so basically it's going to be back to trusting Michael, tell him the pain load and noticing the velocity and all that. But this is a frightening thing. This is a 23-year-old guy that has the potential to be a top-of-the-rotation guy. A lot of what the Cardinals did over the winter was research their rotation. Should they make a play for Cole Hamels, James Shields, etc.? They have a great pitching depth, and if Michael Wacha's healthy, suddenly you look at that rotation and say, hey, this might be as good as any in baseball.
Hey, Richard, I'm real curious. Did they find out how the injury may have occurred? Did he dive for a ball, land wrong, or was it just overusage, or how did this come about?
You know, I don't think, Harold, I don't think that's a question they're going to be able to answer. I think it's probably overused, 23 years old. And as you know, pitchers have stuff. I mean, it's a lot of stress on the shoulder. And what it comes down to is how do you prevent it? And I'm not sure they know how to prevent it. But what they think is there's exercises, monitor his workload, keep him on a strict throwing program, and trust him to tell them how he's feeling.
All right, and from the Cardinals, a young pitcher, now to the Giants veteran and Matt Cain. Think about this, Giants were able to win the World Series without the betterment, the services of Matt Cain, who missed most of last season with an elbow injury after surgery, and also Richard an ankle procedure. So give us an update on Cain.
Well, Matt Cain says he feels like he's 18 years old again. He's got the full range of motion back in his elbow and his arm. He hasn't had that when he had the bone chips in there before he had those removed. He didn't have that, and he feels great. And so, again, as with Michael Wacha and the Cardinals, the Giants are going to monitor his workload. They're going to trust him to tell them the truth because they feel with Bumgarner and Cain, they've got a 1-2 that can match up with any in baseball. So far, so good.
Yeah, if they get Cain back, there was no need for James Shields. I mean, they've already made the investment. You know what I mean, Richard?
Yeah, and you know, they deepened their pitching staff. Even, you know, with all the discussion in the Bay Area about Pablo Sandoval, the Giants said, we got to take care of our rotation first. So now with Peavy back, there's still great hope for Lincecum with Vogelsong back. And they have some young guys in the minor leagues, they feel. You know, it's interesting to watch Brian Sabean put together a roster. This is the first phase. He's so confident in his approach that he and Bruce Bochy are going to take the spring, look at the club, but they've held on to all their best prospects. They can make other adjustments along the way.
Heidi talked about Buster Posey in our last segment. Another reason why, you know, Cain feels great. He also played at Pebble Beach. He played 4 rounds. He was the low amateur out there, a 6 handicap. So he says everything is moving in the right direction. You've got a great column on MLB.com right now about competitive balance in the American League, where you think it's pretty much wide open in terms of the postseason and who has a chance at winning the pennant.
Yeah, I think if you want to understand baseball's competitive balance landscape now, just look at the American League. I mean, I think you can make a case for the Red Sox, the Tigers, the Mariners being favored, but there's probably 13 of the 15 teams today believe they're positioned to go to the postseason, and I'm only leaving the Twins and Astros out of that. Both those teams feel they got better over the offseason. Both those teams feel like they're going to flirt with 500, if not play meaningful games in September. And for a baseball fan, this is about as good as it gets, in that you have all these teams that have a lot of hope as we start the spring training. It makes it interesting.
Hey, Richard, I'm looking at your list there, and I saw the Royals. You're not the only one who's put the Royals. Oh, that wasn't his list? Okay, they're telling me now that's not your list, because they had the Royals, like, below the Astros, just above the Twins. I was like, hold on now. But what's your take on the Royals? Because Pacoda's got them with 72 wins. What do you think the Royals are going to be?
Well, I think Dayton Moore did a great job of filling the holes. Aoki's not there anymore, Shields is not there anymore, Butler, but they went out and got guys that they feel good about. I mean, they feel good about Morales, they feel good about Alex Rios, Edison Volquez, and they went out and got bargain basement prices on a guy like Chris Medlin who can contribute to the rotation. What's it going to come down to? It's going to come down to those three relievers staying healthy, to Mike Moustakas continuing to take a step forward, which he did in the postseason, for Ventura to maybe be the guy he's supposed to be, all those little things. But you look at Tony La Russa always used to say that the goal of spring training is to have the fewest ifs. I look at a team like the Royals, I look at the team like the Pirates, there aren't a lot of ifs there, so it's just a matter of putting on the uniform and going to play.
Where is your spring training itinerary taking you first?
Yeah, I'm flying to Tampa today and then going to be with the Pirates tomorrow. Everybody has their rite of spring. Mine is to hear Clint Hurdle's booming voice across that diamond. And there was a photo taken yesterday of A.J. Burnett and Andrew McCutchen, big smiles on their face, embracing. I thought, yeah, that's sort of the way a lot of baseball fans feel today. Let's get going.
Hey, Richard, before we let you go, you said Tampa. I can't help but think Alex Rodriguez and the Yankees. What are your thoughts with A-Rod's statement and what we're going to see down in Tampa?
I wonder if he can still play. The last time we saw him for any length of time, he was pretty much overmatched at the plate. He was riding the bench at the end of the postseason in 2013. I do think this, though. I think in the post-Jeter, post-Rivera era, I think it's probably not the distraction that Joe Girardi would like. On the other hand, I've been around their club a lot. I think with this manager, I think Girardi is fantastic. And I think with guys like Sabathia and Teixeira, I don't think it's going to make any difference in the way they prepare. I think it's a very professional group. And we'll just find out how good they are. We'll find out what Sabathia's got left in the tank, if Carlos Beltran can stay healthy, and all that stuff. I don't think he's going to hurt them. I think it's going to be a matter of coming into camp and finding out, can he contribute in any way.
All right, Richard, we appreciate it. Thanks for the information. Enjoy spring training.
Thanks.